Hello, my fellow geeks. Welcome to episode number 57 of the Indian Av Geek. My name is Vishal Mehra. We've reached the top of our descent for 2025, and what a turbulent, transformative year it has been. The purple has officially merged into the red, and a brand new airport code is finally flashing on our radar screens in Mumbai. But we aren't here to do a post flight inspection of the past. Today, we are pushing the throttles to toga power and climbing straight into 2026. Joining me in the cockpit to read the navigational charts is a man who spends more time in 1A than in his own living room. Whether he's reviewing a first class suite or dissecting domestic crew shortage, he is the ultimate authority on all things up in the air. Please welcome the man who's quite literally always live from a lounge, Ajay Awtaney. Welcome to the Indian Av Geek, Ajay. How have you been?
Well, very well. On the road, as expected of me. And now, just as we speak, trying to wrap up the year, hopefully not having to get on any more planes at this point of time.
Ajay, how do you think the year 2025 was for Indian aviation and global aviation at large? We saw extreme highs, including the IATA AGM in Delhi, and of course, extreme lows like the AI 171 accident and Indigo's operational meltdown earlier this month. What's your take on the year?
When you talk about it, it's not just these, both of these were actually highlight events, but these were not all. Uh, I think if you look at the year as a whole, there's a lot of progress that has been made. Of course, setbacks, but a lot of progress has been made. Uh, I think overall, a few bullet points, however people want to look at it. I think number one, Air India has made a lot of good progress uh, in terms of you know product getting better and so on. So I think on the product front, they are getting better. They did a very good job with the A320 refurbish, and now next year I think is the uh, thing where they will restart. We'll start with the A321 retrofit and so on. So what that reflects to me is when you give them the time and the resources, they come up with a good job there. Number one. Number two, of course, on the Air India front, there was this very unfortunate the AI 171 crash. There's no two ways about it. We still don't know uh, the whole story. Obviously, it'll take some time. I know people obviously tend to blame some of the other party. I just tend to say that we don't know the whole story yet, and obviously it'll be high. We're looking forward to. I'm sure we're all looking forward to know what happened, and prayers for all the departed souls. Uh, and yeah, on the Indigo front, I think they were doing a pretty good job expanding through the year. They've also, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk in details later. The stretch product and the internationalization, and then the unfortunate meltdown in the start of this month. So I think, yeah, they've been largely on the right path, except the flaws in their strategy and the whole not. I think the whole thing where they did not keep enough buffer of pilots on standby, obviously, going through in the end. Uh, yeah, that's Indian aviation. I think around the globe, a lot of expansion story, really. I think one of the things I personally can't vouch for, but other people tell me is that it seems there's a little bit of a slowdown in terms of travel appetite. But when I get out on a plane, I can't seem to validate that. So I guess something, you know, maybe you have a view or other people have a view. Keen to hear what people think about the story out there.
All the executives I speak to, I haven't heard of a slowdown yet. Maybe there is something bubbling underneath. Let's start the episode with Indigo. Ajay, we have spent years asking when will Indigo go premium. In 2025, they did. Finally, with IndiGoStretch, and of course, they also launched their FFP BluChip. Now that the product is flying on domestic metro routes as well as some international ones, is it actually pulling the corporate traveler away from the new Air India, or is it just upgrading the existing Indigo loyalist?
See, the thing with Indigo Stretch is, I think there are two polar views about what Stretch is. So people seem to think Stretch is uh, business class because the seats look like like business class when you get on board. But uh, Stretch is different things on different, how do you want to call it, different planes. So I think on a narrow body plane, Stretch is more a challenger to business class because the seat is a what we call a business class seat, but the product is what I would call a premium economy product, you know. And Indigo, being Indigo, does not want to complicate its own life. So the product is standardized like a veg meal and so on. Uh, and not everyone can appreciate that because a lot of, I'm sure we've seen tweets over the year, including from Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, I think, about how this is a bad business class product. Uh, but overall, personally, I think it's a great product. I flew them a couple of times this year as well, and I flew them last year as well when they launched the product. I think they're doing a great job with the product per se, which, like I told you, is a middle of business and premium economy kind of a operation. That's number one. On the international front, the whole product is great, and I think again, the key differentiation comes on the wide bodies, which they're borrowing from Norse right now. Uh, so yeah, again, I haven't found a reason to fault them because at a price which is significantly or at least materially discounted from the other player in the market, I think it's a decent attempt at a premium cabin product, which is not true business. Uh, so yeah, I think coming to your second part, which is are they able to switch people? I don't think that trend has started yet. I have a feeling at this point of time, they're trying to get new people to try out Stretch. That was a journey that they started in 2024, November. I think the angle to Stretch is not to just kind of get people to, switch from Air India, but to create a new market, which will be okay to give away some of the bells and whistles, but is okay to travel on A, on their product, and B, on the fact that it's not a true, like I think, hot meals plus lounge kind of experience like you'd get with the other guys. So I believe that they're still working. That's a work in progress on the domestic markets. And on the international markets, I'm sure the take is higher because A, lesser number of frequencies. You'll only be flying to a destination once or twice a day, right? I mean, and the fact that I think as your stage length grows, as the time on the flight grows, your preference for buying a bigger seat grows as compared to how you would do it on, let's say, a Bombay Delhi flight. So yeah, I'm guessing they're still finding. I'm not guessing that they're still finding their feet. They found their feet. They found their niche. It's just that people still have to, come around and understand the product. And I think Indigo is more than happy to uh, play the long game and keep discounting the product so that people can try it out.
On the long game, JetBlue just opened its first ever branded airport lounge called Blue House, I think on the 18th of December at JFK. Do you foresee Indigo getting in the game, perhaps when their full blown business class product, which is expected on the A350, starts flying?
That is a yes and no answer. Okay. I mean, ideally, what they've done right now with the stretch on the internationals is they have tagged along lounge access. Okay. International wide bodies only, mind you, not like if you're flying a Delhi Singapore on the A321, you're not going to have it. But if you're flying Delhi London or Delhi Amsterdam or whatever, Bombay Amsterdam, sorry, you will get that lounge access. So that is a very simple play into tapping into the uh, full service market, okay, where other people are entitled to all of these things. Now, coming to the lounge part, I don't think we will see an IndiGo lounge for domestic passengers anytime soon because it's just a cost. You know, we might see it for international, and then it depends on which is their primary hub. Their primary hub being, I mean, at this point of time, their primary hub for the wide bodies is actually Mumbai, not Delhi, because of the Pakistan airspace closure. So where that long game is going to be for them, that's one part. The second part of that is that even there, I don't see it coming anytime soon because I think it really will have to be a dire necessity for them to be able to or to want to do it. At this point in time, I think they're very happy paying uh, the other lounges, which is the airport-owned lounges, for their service. And even I don't know if they started this or not, but Peter Elbers, when I met him on and after the first flight to Amsterdam, oh sorry, to Manchester, he said that they intend to offer two kind of tickets. One is like one lesser than others, and the lesser one will not have lounge access. The higher price one will have the lounge access, but not the lesser one. So I don't think they need or they have the economies of scale at this point of time for international lounges. And the domestic side, I don't think they need a lounge because either their customers, the well-heeled ones, have access via credit cards, or and the others just don't need it.
December's operational meltdown showed us the cracks in the fortress. As they induct XLRs next month and possibly in 2027, the A350s come in. Are they operationally ready for the complexity of wide body long haul if they struggled with domestic rostering this year? It won't be wet lease then.
Anytime or whenever they are ready for the wide body operations, let's keep in fact that there's certain multiples everyone operates with, right? I mean, like uh, for a domestic plane, you would need whatever six pairs of people to rotate one plane on an average, six or seven set of crew. Similarly, whatever the number is on international, uh, you know, I don't know at this point of time, but I don't think that will happen, is that they will have the same crew operating domestic and international. So domestic and the wide body fleet, I mean, the other one they will. So what will most probably happen is a cutout of the current pilots or newly recruited ones will be made available to operate the A350s whenever these start. And yeah, I don't think there is then beyond that, there is a rostering issue because now you have to, uh, account for X number of pilots, and these are always available to you because now they're only operating the wide body. Uh, Unless they decide to cut the margin too thin, like perhaps they did last month, or sorry, earlier this month, I don't think there will be a problem. Plus, now that the the tree has been shook, the and Indigo's kind of in the public gaze, A, and B, internally they have realized that they couldn't really keep such a lean operation where they did not have buffer to staff the planes. I don't think they will. I hope they will not let the situation, happen ever again.
Yeah, in public and regulatory gaze, quite a bit of
Yeah,
it.
I keep telling people, that I tweeted about this as well, that yeah, they saved a few crores by not staffing some more people, but the outcome of that is perhaps we don't know the full financial impact, right? I mean, you had to pay compensation to people, you had to kind of, refund people, number one, and two, and whatever, I'm sure they will get some sort of a fine out of this, whether the competition commission will put it, or whether uh, the PIL will come with a fine, or the DGCA will put it. The jury is open. I don't know which or all of which bodies will fine them, but I'm sure they're not getting away scot-free out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Ajay, the Vistara brand is officially retired now. Looking back at the year, how successful do you think was the transfer of Vistara culture into Air India? Did the and like we were just discussing about Indigo, do you think the premium passenger stayed, or did we see also a drift or a transfer to foreign carriers?
First of all, personally, my view, and you've known me a while now, uh, Vistara tried to create a very customer-centric product, but also I think it was sometimes it was patchy. It was not fully in full bloom, and that comes with how, over time when you mature as an organization, they never got the opportunity to do that. So the Vistara culture uh, was sort of more customer-centric than Air India, but it was not fully there. So that's part one of your answer. Now, was it transferred? I don't think so. I think you know how all big organizations happen. Uh, they were, I think that fire in the belly to really be customer centric did not kind of come to Air India when they merged Vistara into itself. So that's the simple thing around that, because I think Air India has a long way to go on customer centricity, sort of, and we'll see what they come up with over a period of time.
2025 unfortunately will be remembered for the AI 171 tragedy and the subsequent safety audits. I know we started the chat by underpinning that we don't know the full story yet, but do you think that incident forced a structural change in the DGCA's oversight, or are we still reacting rather than preventing?
Hey, I'm not privy to what exactly happened, just like the rest of us. Uh, I would expect that they're kind of starting to take a deeper look at compliance and airworthiness. Uh, but if you remember, just this month it came to light that they had a plane operating without the regulatory clearances and airworthiness certificate, and did like 6 or 8 flights without that. So kind of shook me off if that was really being taken as seriously as it should be. I mean, we can find a reason to justify that, but look, that's not ever going to, I mean, it's inexcusable that you're not doing your paperwork. So I don't think they've really kind of gotten their act together. Uh, or maybe I expect too much of them to just be in compliance with all the laws of the land at this point of time.
Yeah, quite an unbelievable chain of events there. Back in June of this year, hosting the IATA AGM was India's arrival moment, if one can say that. Even the Prime Minister was there for the closing keynote. Beyond the photo ops, did that event actually translate into any tangible policy shifts for Indian carriers regarding bilateral rights or supply chain priorities? I know the big Indigo, Air France, KLM, Virgin Atlantic sort of an alliance came out of it. But what were your highlight moments?
Event was a coming off moment. So I think, that went well. I was there. But beyond that, I don't think, beyond that, anything tangible came apart from bringing India out to people who wouldn't think of India uh, before, I mean, the big alliance that you're talking about is yet to take off because there are no code shares with Delta KLM or Virgin Atlantic at this point of time. So the Indigo flights right now, the wide bodies, um, still fly with O&D traffic rather than transfer traffic.
But they're code
Uh,
sharing on domestic routes.
yeah, but which is one side of the story, but the whole basis also was that you would transfer traffic to Virgin Atlantic or to Delta at, let's say, at London or KLM at Amsterdam, and bring all these people onto the to the US or other North American markets there. So that hasn't happened at this point of time. Uh, and the other part about what have we gained out of this, I don't think. Yeah, bilaterals are a different story, right? I mean, there are MOCA and a Ministry of Foreign, like our international ministry and so on. Those are the people who control that. So I don't think there was any stress or stray that was put on that to kind of give India preference in some shape or form. And with the OEMs, again, it's not a issue that is I think it's a issue that is between two private companies, right? I mean, between Boeing and Air India for one, or Akasa, and between Indigo and Airbus. So it's nothing. I think I never expected anything there uh, because these are all people who are doing businesses globally, the OEMs. And yeah, I'm sure they have certain amount of leeway to do certain things, but we'll never hear of that because all of this happens behind closed doors.
It has been a couple of days since the first commercial flight landed at Navi Mumbai on Christmas Day. Indigo is shifting significant capacity there. Other airlines have also announced their plans. Do you see NMIA becoming the Stansted of Mumbai, which is more LCC heavy, or will it genuinely rival the main Mumbai airport for premium traffic in 2026? What's your hunch?
See, at this point of time, the catchment of NMIA is more, let's say, the Navi Mumbai and Pune, as I would put it. Of course, there are other smaller territories in between. Uh, but clearly, there is no preference from an Indian full service carrier to move there. Uh, so I think a lot of hints of what to expect come simply from how things happen at Hendon, for example. Uh, like, uh, so this is a geographically nice airport, uh, but the catchment area is Navi Mumbai on one end, and in my thought process, it's Navi Mumbai, and on the other side, it's Pune. The catchment area is not Sobo. The catchment area is not the western suburbs or the central suburbs. So yeah, and I think everyone's allocating, you know, for the airport for that. I mean, you're getting Indigo, you're getting Air India Express, and you're getting Akasa. And lucky for Air India, or they have the ability to tell Air India Express to go and open base there rather than coming in themselves. Uh, so uh, yeah, I don't think they will full service capacity will move there, I guess, for maybe another year and a half, because first you want to experiment with the low cost model and see what is the take, and then maybe the full service guy will also come in. It will come in, I can tell you. What point of time? I can't say because right now it's a limited run for the airport. Stansted, is it going to turn it into Gatwick? We'll see. It's definitely not becoming Heathrow for now. And on the international carriers, again, uh, we need to see what their negotiations and bartering have been, because nobody wants to lose prime Mumbai airport slots. So, and if where we still running a point of call scheme where people are already allocated to Mumbai, is this becoming like a part of Mumbai, or is it a separate port of call? We need to see. For instance, so between Bombay uh, and Delhi, the bilateral with the UK is for Bombay/Delhi. There's a certain limitation on the number of flights you can operate to Heathrow. Now, can British Airways come and operate more flights out of Navi Mumbai, which is an expansionist mindset uh, that we still need to kind of see. I mean, they don't need to think so much about, let's say, launching flights from Chennai or uh,
Or Bangalore or
Calcutta.
Hyderabad. Yeah.
Yeah. But to come out of Navi Mumbai is the first time we'll have that question answered. So keen to see what turns out there.
Yeah, and also there will be some slots opening up, I'm guessing, at CSMIA because they're
Mm.
shifting all the cargo traffic to NMIA,
Yes.
right? So you will have those landing slots and takeoff slots, which will certainly become
Yeah.
available in August. So
Yeah, yeah, that's there. But again, uh, the thing is, I think by August I guess we need to do maybe a mid of the year recap sometime where we will see actually what came out of these airports, because by then NMIA would have like done like a full schedule, 6 months or 5 months, whatever, and we'll get a pretty good idea of what's the take rate. See, the good thing is it's both the Adani. So basically, Adani Airports is operating both the places. But what we've seen also happening is that airlines don't take kindly to the fact that when they were asked to just shift, uh, whether there will be concessions made or what, I think the whole chessboard is still open there.
well, no airline will be asked to shift out of Delhi. I can assure you that. We will have different airport operators for the uninitiated. Of course, Delhi, the main airport, is managed by GMR, and the Noida airport will be managed by Zurich Airport. But Noida's airport seems to be stuck in a permanent, almost ready state. With the opening pushed again now, there is a no time till February 2026, I think. For a Delhi based flyer, is 2026 finally the year the triple airport reality hits? And how will that change the domestic fare war, Ajay? How do you see the dynamics change for the passenger?
So again, in my book, uh, basically Delhi becomes a three-way thing. Hindon's already operational. Hindon's apparently getting more land and resources to become a sort of a permanent conclave. And when I talk to people from Ghaziabad and those catchment areas, uh, they very much like that. They're okay to travel non-full service as long as they don't have to spend 2-3 hours to
Yeah,
come
it's
to
so
Delhi.
convenient. Plus, it's because it's a smaller airport, you don't have to spend so much time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So that's what. So I think the more conventional Delhi, let's say the West Delhi, Central, South, all of these people will still continue to prefer uh, Delhi. The East Delhi and Ghaziabad crowd is now starting to take to Hindon. Let's also remember Hindon has much lesser charges than uh, Delhi International at this point in time. Okay, and this will become a three-way battle when Jewar opens. So Jewar, I think, has not Delhi at the heart of it, but it's going to again have Noida on one end, and on the other end, maybe all the way to Mathura or Agra. Uh, all these people obviously don't mind spending 1 hour, 1.5 hours less and commuting to an airport which is brand new. Uh, so yeah, it's going to become a three-way fight there that we will see how it really works out. So it's an airport which has capacity. Airlines will come because the parking base. I don't think we have enough another 900 to 1,000 aircraft expected. We of course need all the capacity we can to park these aircraft, and obviously the parking bays will come only to people who will go and operate from there, rather than just the ability to come in, kind of come in the night and park my aircraft there. So yeah, I think unfortunate that they couldn't get their clearances before uh, end of the year. But hopefully that gives them more time to be operationally ready. Because even if they were inaugurated now, it would have still taken 6 to 8 weeks to kind of be operationally ready. Number one, and number two, it's the fog season here, so there's no point risking it now.
Right. Let's talk a bit about loyalty programs. We saw the birth of Maharaja Club and Indigo BluChip late in 2024. So this really was the year when both of them came into full bloom and actually competed in some manner, their first full year. For the average airline loyalty program user or credit card spender, has the value proposition improved in 2025? And how would you look at the year ahead in terms of loyalty?
Average user still kind of is getting the short end of the stick. I'll tell you from a credit card perspective. Uh, but before that, let's see the numbers, okay? Air India now has 10 million plus users. 10 million was April or May. They haven't really come out after that with a statement. So I'm not sure what has been the kind of real number, but let's conservatively look at maybe 11 or 12 million by now. What's surprised me has been that Indigo's managed to scale to 7 million uh, by the end of last quarter, which was maybe by September end. So that's been a very quick scale up. How many of these people are active? We don't know. 1 million is a decent database to market to. Uh, so that's that part. And obviously, uh, how do you want to put it? Maharaja Club and BluChip are as different as chalk and cheese. Maharaja Club being the more conventional loyalty lounge and uh, reward the people kind of program. BluChip being the more new era kind of thing where you get certain limited benefits, but not like a surprise and delight kind of thing like how Air India offers. So that's one. And for the credit card spender, obviously uh, disappointing because the Air India credit card, I think the efforts were slowed down after uh, the 171 incident, unfortunately. And Air India has a lot of and is now working on a lot of things with in close coordination with the Tata Sons HQ. So I hope in 2026 we will see the new card eventually. Uh, for Indigo, they sped fast on getting partners and launching credit cards. Um, but yeah, I don't feel the love, in the sense of uh, I don't see myself personally collecting a ton of blue chip miles and actually going spending money on a blue chip credit card.
Yeah, most of my blue chips come from Swiggy. So, so that, which I thought, by the way, was an interesting partnership. And now that I think forced Maharaja Club's hand also with Zomato.
I mean, these partnerships are common across the globe. Okay, I mean, if you go to the US and look at that market, Swiggy and Uber and everyone's partner with one or two major airlines, anyways. So it was a matter of time when it would have to come to India, and I think we'll see a lot more partnerships coming up in that space. But yeah, at the end of the day, the key concern always remains which ones of these work and which ones don't. And I guess they keep trimming partners accordingly over a period of time because you don't want a hanger on taking on your resources while not generating enough revenue for you as Air India or as Indigo both.
Across the world, FFPs are a great source of not just revenue but profitability also for airlines. With Akasa's plans to grow, do you see a third loyalty program forming in 2026? Or is the market now firmly a duopoly? I'm asking that because, as per the latest internal memo out of the airline, out of Akasa, they're expecting almost 20 aircraft deliveries in the year.
The good thing about Akasa is it has a lot of prudent people at the top. And the one thing I've always appreciated about Vinay has been the fact that I think he keeps the herd together so that they stay true to their mission, which is obviously running a profitable airline. Uh, so I don't think at this point of time in India a loyalty program is the make or break uh, thing when you're choosing an airline. I mean, it is for people like you and me, but I think because we are in a metro and obviously we are being hotly contested for. But in many places in India, you might just have only Indigo or might just only have Akasa or so on. So I don't think in the second tier and third tier markets, loyalty program really is the place. So I would say they would first focus on their growth, and it will come. Will it come 6 months down the line, or but I personally think it's another 2 3 years before they have the scale to kind of have the overheads for a loyalty program.
Yeah, Indigo was at 350 odd aircraft when they launched BluChip. That does not mean every airline needs to wait that long, but I get what you're saying. Which new credit card airline partnerships do you expect to come to fruition in 2026?
I guess we'll see the Air India card. That's number one. That most definitely should happen in 2026 because uh, I don't know why it did not happen in 25, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Uh, Emirates might come out with a new co-brand partnership. Uh, I don't know if it'll be supplement the ICICI one or if it will be something that will add to their catalog.
They've
But
just taken over the RBL Bank. The Emirates Bank has taken over the RBL Bank. So maybe there
no,
is
I was
something
talking
there.
about could be, but
Yeah.
I don't look. I can't predict which bank, but I'm sure they need a bigger bank than RBL to uh, do this because I think they were looking at numbers when they launched the partnership with ICICI Bank, and uh, as per my conversation with the head of Skywards, they've not been happy with the output so far. Others don't strike a bell. Yeah, at this point in time.
Indigo starts flying the A321 XLR to Athens in January 2026, next month. Is this the route that finally proves the narrow body long haul concept for Indian travelers, Ajay, or will passengers reject 8 hours in a narrow body? I think you are uniquely qualified to answer this. You were on the inaugural XLR flight with Aer Lingus, I think.
I was on the Iberia inaugural, not
My bad.
Lingus.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no worries. But look, India is one of the most perfect markets, I think, to get the XLR on. That's because a lot of places where your 321 or 321 LRs could not go or are going with one stop can now finally get a product which, where people can fly nonstop, like Delhi, Bali, which I think I don't remember if it's already being operated with a technical stop or if it's scheduled to start. But uh, those are the kind of places that can be done nonstop with this plane. The second part about will people choose it over something else or not? I think apart from trunk routes, the XLR. will, or the other variant like the LR, will obviously become the aircraft of choice for a lot of airlines to operate routes where they expect maybe 150-ish, 160-ish, 170-ish kind of passengers to fly. So Indigo is obviously taking the right approach by taking a far enough route to launch, and second, it's virgin territory. Uh, there's no background data so far, and as we've seen with Indigo, what tends to happen a lot is that when you go to a market where Indigo opens, it eventually people come around and people fly to that place, like the Central Asian market, where there was no carriers from India for a while, or for a long while. And when Indigo kind of took on all those routes and opened them, I think they're seeing great success with that. Uh, Product preference, I don't think that's an Indian trait. I think Indians chase fare, not the product, really.
If Athens works out, and that will be quite a challenge considering the route will go from zero direct non-stop flights to having Aegean also on the route. According to you, where does the network planning logic point to next in 2026 for XLR? Does Indigo look east towards Seoul and Tokyo? You already have Air India on both routes, along with the local and Korean airlines already competing hard, where yields are higher, or do they push deeper into Central Europe? Maybe some place like Rome and Vienna to undercut the Middle East carriers. Just for some context, Air India has just announced the restart of its flights to Rome. Indigo has also announced Delhi London Heathrow from 2nd February onward. So far, it was just Mumbai. Now, Delhi gets a London Heathrow flight as well, 5 times a week, not daily. And probably those Heathrow slots are coming in from KLM.
Look, some of the obvious picks for them are Nairobi, uh, which they can operate from Mumbai with the whatever version they have right now. But Delhi, Nairobi can't happen, obviously. So I think some African stations beyond Nairobi will also come together. Europe, yes, I think places where they might, I mean, I can't say of exact towns and stations because obviously I'm not a part of that team and not looking at the same data, but maybe Milan, who knows? Uh, or, obviously Athens, yes. Certain other, the smaller markets which don't deserve a full, like a wide body flight, not like a hub operation, so maybe they will take them there. So I think, this is not going to be a one direction spring. They will eventually, I don't know how many of these they're getting next year, maybe not more than 6 to 8. They will use these to kind of, test out various markets, and I can definitely do some in Africa, couple of them in Europe next year. And I imagine they will also go east into Asia. And then from where this whole delivery scales up is when you can see them carpet bombing routes with, you know, uh, the same thing. I can also, one more angle of the Indigo strategy always has been to kind of, have carpet bomber station with themselves, right? So I would imagine hopefully this Pakistan airspace closure will be gone by then. And every of these cities where the XLR will go, they might have two stations at the minimum operating rather than just one, because that's where they start to get scale and they can rotate an aircraft. Let's say do a Mumbai, Athens, then Delhi, and then the other way around. So I totally expect them to pick two stations or three stations in each market, in each continent, uh, where the plane can fly initially.
We know so far the A350s arrive in 2027, but 2026 could be the prep year, right? Do we expect Indigo to lease more wide bodies like the 789s from Norse? in 2026 to hold slots at key airports like Heathrow or Amsterdam? Or do you think they will pause wide body expansion until their own metal arrives?
It's a question of how where you land those wide bodies from. Does Norse come up and say, "Okay, I'll give you another two aircraft," or not? Because to the best of what I see around, I think wide bodies are uh, not too many of them around, which are spare for airlines. So Norse obviously was not being able to operate themselves profitably. Hence, it's a place where they've shut down their own routes where they were not operating profitably and handed it over to IndiGo. But I also don't see the ability of an airline to offer consistent product with different kind of wide bodies, I mean, what if Stretch One International, which is a Norse product, has a premium economy seat? And on some other carrier, if they contract them, they get a different kind of product. So it's something I don't think it's cool with passengers, and it's not even cool with them. So uh, I'd say if they end up getting more aircraft from Norse, uh, great going. Otherwise, they might press pause.
As Indigo reconfigures A321s for IndiGoStretch, they are technically losing seat density. In a capacity constrained 2026, does this put pressure on their unit costs, forcing fares up for the average economy flyer?
So remember, they're not reconfiguring existing aircraft. They're just taking new ones, uh, up to 45 of them, which has the new product installed at this point of time. There's no plan of adding more aircraft. I think the strategy for Indigo kind of they've had to put a pause on the domestic expansion of the product, if you remember. And what they're doing now is sending a lot of these aircraft internationally, which I think on day one or day zero itself was a known thing. I mean, they did not have to say it. That at some point in time, you will perhaps get more money sending those seats to Singapore and Dubai rather than flying them on a 21 times a day between Bombay Delhi. Having said that, uh, will they kind of get uh, more success with this? Totally. I think over a period of time, people will become more appreciative of premium cabin traffic. Number two, let's remember that at this point of time, that big alliance of theirs with KLM Delta and everyone else has not kicked in. For whatever reasons, it's not come live at this point of time. And when that transatlantic traffic finally starts to flow with them, all these people will have access to a pseudo business inventory, which at this point of time does not exist on Indigo. So yeah, I think they will continue to invest resources. The people who will take it is Indians, and a lot of them will be international customers as well.
I've been seeing pictures and videos of Air India's A350 1000 on X. Looks marvelous on all those trial flights. So one can guess that the delivery is imminent. The Dash 900s were deployed largely on trunk routes. You had London, Dubai, maybe JFK, and Newark as well to showcase the brand. With the larger Dash 1000 coming, do you see them finally launching the true ultra long haul flagship routes like LAX or Dallas directly to compete with Qatar or Emirates? Or do you think they will play it safe on high density North American routes? We all know they are one wide body short due to 171, but will they make a punt on a new North American route?
The first aircraft, I'm definitely sure are going to, upgrade the product on one of the existing uh,
You're talking
routes.
about the Dash thousands
Yes.
will be operated on a Dash 900 route right now, which
No,
is on.
upgrading in the sense on the mission profile. on a route that already operates, but will now, instead of have the 777, will have this dash 1000. And there are good reasons for that. Like you already said, they have one wide body short at this point of time. Uh, B, the other thing is they're short of planes, really, right? Now the Dallas and the LAX plan, to the best of my knowledge, has been put on hold for now, because you don't have enough planes, and then we're also seeing some of their 777 LRs getting out of the fleet. The Delta ones are going back because there was a certain time frame they were borrowed from, and I think the glitch in their matrix was that they hoped and prayed that their own aircraft would arrive, but that did not happen. So they first reinforce their existing routes, and once they're done, only then will they go for new places. So I guess LAX and how do you want to put it? Dallas can wait for now, and people will first see these on existing routes. Most probably, common sense would say they would take these to SFO, but will they be able to do it with one aircraft, or will they wait for the second one to arrive and be able to kind of actually do like a an operation? Is something I can't speak of at this point in time.
They cancelled, by the way, Bangalore's SFO yesterday itself, in favor of increasing frequency from Delhi. But yeah, but it's something to do with lack of metal for sure. Which is
Yes, see, the trouble for them is they don't have enough metal, and uh, while people will crib for the fact that Bombay or Bangalore don't get enough frequencies, the true story is Delhi can and will always remain the hub, and they have to first fix this hub before they will start giving things to Bangalore or to Bombay. So even the 350, whenever it arrives, will we can hope for it to go to Bangalore. I know the Bangaloreans want it, but most probably it's coming to Delhi, and some flight from Delhi will take on the route, not the ones from Bangalore for now.
Ajay, we've been promised the new Air India experience for years now. In 2026, the legacy 788s and 777s finally return from refits in large numbers. It's a big pivotal year. Is the bigger risk for 2026 not the new planes, but the inconsistency of having a mixed fleet where a passenger might pay the new Air India price but might still get the old Air India seats if a swap happens?
I don't think so. I would say the way Air India went about it was pretty, you know, even when you look at the 350-900 deployment, they only kind of put those planes in motion when they actually had enough to sustain certain routes. So London now gets it from Delhi twice a day. New York gets it once a day. New York and Newark gets it once a day at this point in time. And then there's some internal rotation around India. But I think they will at least, you know, whatever aircraft, the old ones or new ones, they will mostly either operate them thrice a week to a certain place, or operate it in when they have two of these, then they will operate like a long haul pair. But I don't expect that when you're going to earmark for the new product a route, you will have too many swaps with the old product. Uh, this is also coming from the place that obviously the life of the aircraft would have been extended, and then you can't be selling premium economy on a route with the new 788. I mean the retrofit 788, and then telling people that the old 788 is going to be flying on that route.
Air India Express is adding 20 to 24 aircraft in 2026 in the coming year and retrofitting the white tails. They are aggressively targeting tier 2 cities. In 2026, do we see them becoming the Indigo alternative for non metro India? Or do you think they will pivot to feed the Air India long haul hub in Delhi or in some instances even Mumbai? What do you think of their strategy?
See, their strategy's been pretty simple all along, okay? And this is driven, by the way, as an extension of the Air India strategy. Um, they will continue to serve uh, the regional network, which is Middle East and Southeast Asia and so on one side. On the other part of them doing domestic operations clearly is uh, where Air India can't or does not go because they don't have the revenue, uh, premium that they think they want or they justify they want. That's where Air India Express is sent. So Air India Express will continue to take over many stations from Air India and feed to the network into Delhi or Bombay or wherever else. Bangalore also is the third hub. So uh, I think a lot of people should be able to buy unified tickets on Air India and Express out of these three hubs. Will they become an Indigo alternative? I think that is purely a game of scale. So obviously they're far behind Indigo in terms of fleet numbers, but yeah, it could happen at some point of time. They could become, the contention that keeps happening is uh, they actually claim to be the number three, uh, you know, operator in India at this point of time as an LCC. But because the numbers are masked into the Air India group numbers, that truth never comes out. And on the other hand, obviously there is Akasa, also claiming to be the number three, I think. So they're big enough, except they're an extension of Air India. They're not a standalone network, really, so to speak.
In 2026, Air India's new maintenance base goes live and they want to make Delhi a true global hub. Can Delhi actually compete with Dubai or a Doha? Is the transit product still lacking?
I don't think we have a transit product. So lacking is when you have something and you not don't have it complete. Uh, I think there's no competition at this point of time.
So what's happening? Is the airline and the airport operator not talking to each other? They are not able to work with each other. Where is the gap? I mean, if
I
the
think,
ambition is there, and if the government keeps saying the same thing again and again, the airline says it, the airport says it, but I mean, clearly it's not there on the ground. What's going wrong?
see, I think some intervention still needed, perhaps on the policy level, to kind of perhaps remove certain unnecessary transit requirements, so that your MCT, which is the minimum, can actually, reduce to the levels where people will really take it. Number one. But number two, and the major one there really is the fact that I think we're waiting for the Air India and the Indigo product to kind of, uh, get better. So uh, the whole thing about coming off a plane and then finding a way to the next gate, at best at other airports, there is, like I just came off Boston, Dubai, Delhi, like 2 days back. It just works. Dubai just works. They don't make you jump hoops. They don't make you kind of, do a lot of things. Uh, in India, uh, does somebody want to voluntarily go? Perhaps they want to, but it's just because of the fares. I think why Dubai and Doha and Abu Dhabi kind of also work is because the governments are really invested in these places to make these not just transit hubs. They want these people to also come and see their country a bit. So that's why you have those places where in Doha or in Abu Dhabi you can book a stopover. Can you do that in India? Not really. So all those things need to be perhaps driven by the Ministry of Tourism, because Air India or Indigo can't really be promising you a 48-hour transit visa if you decide to step out in Delhi. So those kind of things. That's why I think we're not fully baked as a uh, airport slash policy slash airline ecosystem. Some people do transit, but to have them in droves, you really need to have a better airline product and B, a better transit experience slash product for them, which is not just limited to the airport, but also the ability to get a visa, the ability to hopefully not get scammed in India while you're here, which unfortunately is still the truth. A lot of foreigners get taken for a ride. And, all those things, those are all hygiene factors which other airports just offer and we don't.
Staying on that, there is talk about the eventual demolition or major repurposing of Terminal 2 in Delhi once Terminal 1's expansion is fully stabilized. In the 2026 roadmap, do you see the airline distribution changing, Ajay? Will we see a super terminal of sorts dedicated, let's say, entirely to the Air India, Lufthansa, United Star Alliance ecosystem to create a really a seamless hub while everyone else is pushed to other terminals?
I don't think that is on the roadmap. I think you know it as well as me that Indigo always wanted, for example, T1 to be handed over to them so that they can move their entire operation there. The same group did not hand it over to them at that point of time. So I don't see that uh, they will hand over T3 entirely to Air India Group. For that matter, I think T3 will see a major remodeling is already happening at this point of time internally. Uh, so and then they also talk of building a new pier. So I think that terminal is going through a lot of changes of itself at this point in time, and we just got to see what they come up with eventually. But uh, if GMR did not hand over Indigo the whole terminal, uh, I don't think that's happening at this point in time as well. Coming to Terminal 2 major remodeling, I think that's something we can safely park for another 5 years because it just came out of, uh, like putting, for lack of a better term, lipstick on a pig, and it's still no, not really a very effective terminal. So T1 they did a great job. T3 they did a great job. I don't think they're willing to put money on T2, turning into T4 at this point of time.
That's the same expression I used when I used that terminal a couple of weeks back. Let's talk about Akasa to end the show. They've been quietly expanding internationally, with the big two, Indigo and Air India, distracted by their own transformations. Do you think 2026 is Akasa's year to disrupt the Middle East routes? Will they look to fly beyond?
Look, there's a lot more demand from India for the Middle East than we at any point of time are able to service. So it's, I think, easy pickings. And also, I think the team has connections there. So it's easier for them to kind of get their way around it, around getting slots and so on. I mean, but I think after they're done there, with the current petal, they will explore more into Southeast Asia. They need the more of their Dash 10s, which are, by the way, not even certified at this point in time. Let's say to go into some territories deeper, which let's hope it gets certified next year, and then they're hopefully one of the earlier customers.
I've read reports suggest Akasa is targeting Singapore, Vietnam, and Uzbekistan from Delhi in 2026. Is this a strategic shift away from their Mumbai slash Bangalore stronghold? Can they crack the Delhi market where Indigo and Air India are already very well entrenched?
Coming from the fact that it's not that they can't get more slots in. I mean, they are, of course, one of the reasons they're not here is because they can't get more slots in Delhi at this point of time. But I also think I'm hoping personally that given that Indigo will be now not given this free pass for the time being that they used to have for a very long time, uh, I would imagine that other players will get some room to grow out of Delhi. And Akasa could really make good use of that. if they got their equipment in time. So I know the equipment's there, just needs to be delivered, which will be a few months. Yeah, I think it's a good idea for them to start making their way into Delhi, which they haven't been able to do meaningfully so far. And hopefully without IndiGo gnawing on their back, trying to kind of, beat them out of it.
Thank you, as always, Ajay, for being so insightful with your thoughts. Best wishes to you and your loved ones for a brilliant 2026.
Right. Thank you, Vishal. Same to you, and same for hopefully for the Indian aviation world, where hopefully we get a lot more new aircraft and routes next year.
And that's a wrap on episode 57 and on 2025. If you aren't already, make sure you're following Ajay's daily dispatches at LiveFromALounge.com. Next Sunday, the Indian Ad Geeks episode 16, the first amongst the geeky podcasts to hit 2026, will feature a living legend of the Indian advertising, Tarun Rai. As for the Indian App Geek, we will return in a fortnight with a global takeoff for 2026. For now, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode of the Indian App Geek with your fellow app geeks. Ajay is, of course, at Live from a Lounge on X, and you will find me everywhere as at Vishal Van Mehra. Happy to have your feedback. Wishing all of you many more miles, fewer NOTAMs, and a brilliant 2026 ahead. With that, keep your tray tables up, your seatbelts fastened. I wish you well, and happy flying, my friends!